Welcome to episode 464 of the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. And I'm your host, Denise Oyston. And today we're talking new websites. For several reasons, yes, we've got a brand new website. And it's our first one in several years, actually. And I thought this would be a good idea to talk about when is it time to actually get a new website for you and your brand. So let's get into it. Welcome to the Recruitment Marketing and Sales Podcast. An obsessive focus on marketing and sales is the only way to accelerate your company growth. So listen in now as we share the latest strategies and techniques guaranteed to deliver you more placements and profits. Well, hi there everyone. This is Denise from Superfast Recruitment. Hope you and yours are well. And the topic of today is something that's been on our minds quite a bit recently. When going through that process, I always say that, having a new website's like having a kitchen. It always takes you a lot longer than you think it's going to take. And then you always decide, I think I just have that. And I just think I'll have that as well. So it's that sort of cathartic process that we all go through. So I thought it would be a good idea, because we work with several of our clients who have had new websites in the last year or so. And it's like, when do you make that decision? When do you decide, you know what, I need a new website rather than just patching this one up that I've got? So that's what we're going to cover today. And we're going to cover several areas and several really good, compelling reasons why you just might need a new website now. Because remember, it's your shop front. So in our online world, which drives us all, I'm sure we've all had it where an email will drop in from somebody. And the first thing I always do is I go and have a look at the website and just think, who are these people? What are they doing? And that can put me either in a place where I think, I'm going to speak to them, or a place where I'm not. I mean, there's all sorts of data out there. I think so. Well over 70% of people will always go to a website, normally a website and social media, before they make a buying decision. And I think for many people, they don't appreciate how important it is to have this website that promotes you and your brand, that is really much more than a brochure. Because years ago, that's all websites were, whereas now they're a direct response marketing machine for you. And it's something that needs attention for many people. So if you've been thinking about the fact that your website might need an upgrade, but haven't been sure if it's worth the investment, today's podcast is for you. So let's dive into 6 compelling reasons why creating a new website to promote your recruiting brand this year is something to consider. So number 1 is that your website is not converting visitors to leads. Now, many people will say to us, I'm disappointed in my website. Nothing ever happens. But when you go onto the website, literally, there's no compelling reason why people would stay on that website. There's no calls to actions. It is literally a brochure. And if you remember several times when you've been on webinars of ours, or you've read any of our content, there's something known as the buyer's cycle. So what you have to remember, that at any one point in time, there's only 3 to 7% of people ready to act now. And that figure is really important to know and understand, because also then there's other data and other figures to consider, that some people don't even realize they've got an issue. Some people know they've got an issue, but they're looking for a supplier. Some people have got an idea of the problem, but really not too sure about what the next step should be. Your website needs to be able to speak to all of these individuals, and many don't, because I like to say they're very thin. There's just like 3 or 4 different pages. It's like someone's put a website up because somebody at some point in time told them they need to have a website. They don't have a blog. They don't have a dynamic page. They don't have any useful content at all. And in today's market, if you don't have that, you are losing out. And that is why your website isn't converting. So Often websites, as we say, they're like an online brochure. They talk about how great the company is. They might list the sectors that they work in, maybe have a jobs page that isn't always updated, but they might have a jobs page, but they have no useful content at all. It's not a lead generation machine. Nowadays, it is no longer useful just to have a nice, pretty website. It needs to perform. You need to have clear call to actions. You need to have a blog page. It is a good idea to have lead magnets that people can download and that provide value to your audience. So actually, you can capture people's name and addresses, their information. You can get back in contact with them later. They can go onto your email list. We recently worked with a client who redesigned their website with conversion in mind, and that has now started to work for him. He can actually track the fact that people have visited his website, they've filled out a page, they've got in contact with him, and now they're starting to have conversations and work together. And of course, when you've got content on your website, it helps to pre-sell you and your service. So these individuals then come to you that are pre-qualified and they're warmed up by the content that they're consuming, that you are providing for them. So if your website isn't actively generating leads for you, or people haven't been on your website, then it definitely is time for an upgrade. So let's also look at your value proposition and messaging. And in honesty, for us, actually, that was one of the reasons why we wanted to upgrade and update our website. Obviously, we're a marketing company. We've been updating our website for several years. It was a very expensive website when we got it put together, and really well coded, everything really well designed, providing everything that people needed. But we've been updating it over the last 6 years, I think, that we've had it. But now we wanted to take that to a whole new level. We'd looked at our value proposition to the market. We'd also looked at our vision and our mission and our values, and we wanted that to come across in a much stronger way, particularly in a market where we are at the moment that is very uncertain. People want clarity about what are they going to get if they work with you, and how are you going to help them, and are you the sort of people that they want to work with? The recruitment and search sector has evolved dramatically in recent years. If your website was built probably more than 3 years ago, there's a fair chance that what you're actually saying now, unless you've updated it, doesn't accurately reflect your current value proposition to the market, your services, or your messaging. Many people now are looking at their offer out to the market. We have video interviewing, we have psychometric testing. There are all of these different additional things that people can provide as a service now. And if your website doesn't communicate that, that's going to be a real challenge, because remember, your website needs to answer those 4 fundamental reasons why candidates and clients choose to work with you. How you solve their pain points, so they have a problem and you can provide a solution for that problem. How you save them time, how you make life easier for them, and how working with you makes them feel good. That is a premise that you should be considering. People need to feel good about, I'm working with this recruitment company, they really helped me. That is an important factor that many people miss. So think about it. Is your current website clearly communicating those messages out to the market? Obviously, you need to be communicating that in social media as well, but is it communicating it out to the market? Does it speak directly to the specific challenges your clients are facing this year? We're in the middle of a global talent shortage for various reasons, including that the birth rate is going down and has been going down. We know you've got shifting candidate expectations, and you've got the complexities around many companies want people to go back into the office. The challenge is not many candidates, depending on the sector that you're working in, want to actually go back into the office. So you've got a whole mishmash of challenges there that you need to really handle. So if your website isn't communicating those things as clear as you want, it's time for a refresh, bring your messaging up to date, and positions you as the person that can really handle the recruitment challenges of today, not yesterday. So next thing, does your website showcase your authority? Yes or no? Now, let's be honest. The market, you could say, is actually saturated with recruitment companies, small startups, search companies, many of whom started their company around COVID. And they thought, you know what? The market became buoyant again. I'm going to set out and I'm going to do this on my own. And so there's a lot of companies out there competing. And currently, in an uncertain market, you have to stand out more to be the person that someone decides to work with. So your website should really establish you as the authority in your niche, your sector, by showcasing and demonstrating your expertise, your industry knowledge, and, to be quite honest, your success stories. So that means having a regularly updated blog with valuable insights that's going to help people, that demonstrates you can actually help them by helping them. Case studies that demonstrate your impact and how you've worked with the company, because people they'll land on your website and they'll think, okay, is this the right recruitment or search company for me? What experience do they have? Do they work with people like me? So they'll be all over your website. They'll be going around your About Us page. They'll be going to your case studies and testimonials, and they will be checking you out. So case studies, testimonials, and then if you've got resources that can help your particular clients and candidates. We've just created a new resource, which is our candidate and client scorecard. We've been working on it for a few months now. We're really pleased with it and the results we get from it. And it will actually give you a personalized assessment, depending on how you answer the questions, of where you are. So if you just go to CCS, which stands for Candidate and Client Scorecard, ccs.superfastrecruitment.co.uk, and just go and do that. It's a really quick assessment. You'll be able to do it in, I've timed myself and a couple of our clients have 3 to 5 minutes max. And it will spit out a PDF report for you that you can have a look at. And of course, you can come and talk to us about some of the results that you get from that. But imagine that we have now provided that as a service to our people that visit our website. And some people may take that scorecard and they go, yeah, okay, that I know what I need to do now. And I don't need to work with Denise and Sharon, but I know what to do. So we've given them a practical resource. Obviously, of course, we want them to work with us. But you get what I'm saying there, that they may not be ready just yet, but we've been able to give them some help. So when they do decide they want to work with somebody, they're going to come back to us. And it's exactly the same for you guys as well. Because if your website isn't positioning you as a thought leader and an expert in your field, you're missing a massive opportunity to differentiate yourself from the competition. Now, the other thing I wanted to talk about is how user-friendly is your website. Now, depending on which continent you live on the planet, it's highly likely that over 50 to 60% of your traffic will come from a mobile device. Now, I'm just going to use this caveat, most websites are mobile friendly. Just check, because it might be that you are still languishing with a website that's 10 years old and it's not as mobile friendly. It's not been tested. We've had to go through various tests with our new website to make sure that you can see it on a mobile device, you can see it on an iPad, you can see it on a laptop, you can see it on a desktop. I just wanted to take a moment to connect with all of you amazing listeners. As you know, our podcast isn't sponsored and we pour our hearts into bringing you quality content for every single episode. Now, if you've been enjoying the show, I'd love to connect with you on LinkedIn. You can find me at linkedin.com/Denise Oyston. That's Oyston. Just click that link, let's connect. And also a quick reminder that sharing our podcast or giving us a shout out on social goes a long way to helping grow our community and getting the message out there to all of the small recruitment companies and staffing companies and search companies that want to do well. Your support does mean the world to us and it helps us to continue doing what we love. So thanks for being part of the journey. Now, let's get back to that show. And it's just thinking, how user friendly is my website? Because it can be very easy to think, oh, well, I'll just have all these trendy terms and words and phrases, and people have not a clue what they're clicking for and what they're going to see. So it is important to have your homepage, naturally, your about us, your case studies, your services page, your blog or insights page, maybe a page where you've got additional resources that people can download, and places where they can actually go and grab hold of a lead magnet. They can look at a PDF. So have you got easy navigation on your website? So literally just one or two clicks, and where you're giving them a call to action like we talked about before. But really, it's about the website that you have. Is it user friendly? And the other thing is the speed of your website. Because remember, user experience is so critical now. There is more software that we can use, which we'll come on to in a second. But it's no longer just a nice to have, it's essential. Slow loading times, people don't like that. Confusing navigation, not good. Mobile experiences. We've recently worked with a recruitment company, and their website was taking like 8 to 10 seconds to load. And after their redesign, the speed was better. They had a better hosting the website, and literally people were staying on the website longer, because obviously you can track all of these different things. And that's different, because then it's like more engagement for you. They weren't getting what's called a high bounce rate, where people land on your website, see there's nothing for them to have a look at. They can't even navigate properly, and then they're away and they're off. So think about that as well so looking at the mechanics of your website too. Now, the other thing that is important is marketing systems and integrations with your website. That is so key in today's marketplace. We all know, I'm recording this, and Rec Expo happened, I think, down in London last week. And it's normally a place where everyone goes and looks at all this fancy software that you can get, most of which is incredibly useful. And sometimes it's thinking about your website functionality, and does it actually integrate with your marketing systems? Now, we've just been through that phase that many of us go through, where systems have been around a while and they start to break, and you realize, well, hang on a minute here. I can actually use some different software, and I'm going to get a much better user experience. And so we've actually updated our website, and we've updated a whole new CRM system that we have, our email marketing software, because we were lacking functionality. And so that is something that we did. And our current website wasn't ideal for that. It didn't look the part. There were certain things that would sometimes break. And so that's one of the reasons that we decided to do that, because nowadays your website should be the hub of your digital marketing ecosystem, if you like. It should seamlessly integrate with your CRM, your marketing platform, your social media, job boards. You've got that whole experience. Because it's great, because the new websites now can actually add leads to your CRM. They can segment your contacts according to behavior, can even trigger email sequences based on specific actions. Now, that's not always happened in the recruitment and search space. I remember when we first came, Sharon and I always used to say, do you know what? We should create some software. Wish we had. But nowadays, you can actually get a system. So everything will integrate, and you can track the user journey that people are going on. So, you might want to be thinking about, okay, so should I really push the button on this new website? The chances are, if you're having that conversation, the answer is yes, because you will see a huge difference in the effectiveness of your lead generation, and your marketing tools are all working together. Makes a huge, huge difference. Now, number 6 is your employer brand. And I'm sure we'll all admit some websites look really old. We were recently had to have a tree surgeon, and his website was a one-page disaster. However, a little bit different. He wasn't actually interacting with thousands and thousands of candidates and hundreds and hundreds of clients. He was very well known in the Cumbria area for tree surgery, And basically just had a one web page website with his telephone number on and a few random testimonials. Very good though. But anyhow, if you think about your employer brand now, it's really important because in the recruitment and search space, your website isn't just a tool for attracting clients, it's also a tool for engaging with candidates. And it's a reflection of how well you do your job, how you position yourself, because it demonstrates your understanding of digital presence, which is crucial when you're advising clients about their own employer branding, because all they need to do is go and look at your website and think, well, you're telling me that I should be doing X, Y, and Z, and that you've got nothing on your website. In fact, at the bottom of your website, it says you last updated it in 2012. So you can understand the impact of a fresh new website in a market will make you stand out as somebody that is serious about what they're doing. And I think we all know from a client and candidate sort of interaction perspective, if you look at the market research around this, candidates do want a seamless process, transparent communication. They want updates on time throughout the way that they apply through the application journey. And your website is actually the starting point of that. And of course, there's another random bonus point, number 7, which is I just fancied a new website. I've thought about it for a while. I just thought, do you know what? I want something new. So that's another good reason to have a website. But seriously, if you are wondering about your impact and presence in the market and you think it could be better, your website is a first starting place and point for people. And totally, I understand, creating a new website requires an investment of both time and money. But when you consider that your website is working for you 24/7. Now, we have several clients in the States and clients in Australia, Europe, the UK. And for some of our clients in the UK, they are also working in the American market, just like we are. So imagine that your website can be performing 24/7, interacting with clients and candidates. I am absolutely certain. I know when I was in my corporate job, I was surfing and looking online at 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning at different roles and different companies. So I'm absolutely certain that people are still doing that, if not more so. So you can see there that it really can make a difference. As we've seen with working with many of our Superfast Circle members, that strategic website redesign can really transform your business development, because business development marketing is about creating demand, and BD is about how the demand that you're starting to create, how that all works and works seamlessly to get people into your world to be able to work with them. So it is about creating inbound leads and something to complement your outbound activities as well. So if you want to, have a conversation about your website, we don't create websites, but we work with people that do, and we can recommend people to you. Then obviously get into contact. And if you're reading the summary of this podcast recording on the Superfast Recruitment new website and blog, you'll see at the bottom, you can pop your name and email address in there and do the candidate and client attraction scorecard. Let's have a look at where you are. It will be very helpful for you because we give you some ideas on where to focus and what's going to make the difference for you. And of course, you can have a conversation with us about that as well. So this is Denise saying bye for now, and I'll see you next time. If you enjoy this podcast and this year you are ready to take your marketing to the next level, then check out Superfast Circle. This is a unique marketing program designed specifically for recruiters and their marketeers. You get access to 2 virtual marketing directors, you get consultancy, you get your hand held through the whole process, training, consulting, and we provide content resources. So go over to superfastrecruitment.co.uk/join and check out what's available.